One last question, Your Honor. Was there a announcement for Crystal Williams?
Yes, Crystal Williams is going to be, who's requesting that? Attorney Rogers?
Deputy here, Judge.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, those cases, Williams and Went was reset for November 2nd. So you can return both inmates to their housing units. The Crystal Williams and Jordan Went, W-I-N-T.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm officially calling the state of Georgia versus Derek Tion McClendon for a charge of burglary, warrant number 2022 CW 54563. That's the only charge for Mr. McClendon. It appears that he is at the Clayton County Jail. State your full name for the record, sir.
Go ahead.
Derek Tion McClendon.
Okay, and the state of Georgia will be represented by ADA Laura Allman, and the defendant, Mr. McClendon, will be represented by Attorney Rogers. Okay, ADA Allman, are you ready to proceed with your first witness?
Yes, Judge. At this point, we call Officer Karen Henry.
Okay, if she would, Miss Officer Henry, if you would turn on your camera.
I am trying at this point. My video is saying it cannot detect the camera.
Okay. But maybe you'll have to log off and log back in and connect to the audio and your camera device.
All
If
right.
okay.
Let me give that a try. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Officer Henry, it still appears that you're not connected to the video.
Yes, I'm still trying to, hold on, it's saying start video, Alt V. Hold on, let me see. Okay. All right, hold on. I'm in my video. I don't know why I cannot seem to, looking at it, and it should be working fine. It says it's processing, sending, and receiving video.
Okay, well, on my end, it still doesn't appear that you're connected to a video.
Okay.
Sergeant Henry, are you on your phone or computer?
I'm on the computer.
Does your computer have a camera?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you sure?
I'm positive I've used this before.
Okay. I'm trying to see, make sure your camera isn't covered up. So I know on our laptop.
I have it open.
Okay, because for some reason it's not showing your video. It's just showing. I guess.
I see what it's showing.
Right.
But I don't understand why it will not start. And It's giving me Alt V, but it says you're unable to detect the camera.
So that's what I'm thinking that, so you may have to go into your settings and make
Okay.
sure that, your camera is on.
And I was just there and it does say that the camera is on. Hold on, it did tell me to restart. I'm gonna leave and come back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, unfortunately, Officer Henry, we still don't have a camera. Do you have a phone maybe that you can utilize?
Hold on one moment. I will get on the, let me see.
Okay, look like we have the audio and camera, but you have 3 devices. So if you could log off the other 2 devices, Officer.
I am.
Okay, great. Then if you could turn on your camera for the Karen, the device identified as Karen.
Hello?
So we're still here. Okay, there you are.
Good morning.
Okay, great.
Hold on one moment. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, look like we're ready to get started. If you want to swear in the witness, ADA Alman.
Yes, Judge. Officer Henry, will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter now pending before the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can place your hand down. State your full name for the record.
Karen Dion Henry.
How are you currently employed?
I'm employed with the Clayton County School Police Department as an investigator.
Okay. How long have you been employed in that capacity?
I've been employed with the county for about approximately 9 years as an investigator for the last 6 months.
Okay. And were you employed in that capacity from the time period of September 30th of 2022 through October 2nd of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
And during that time period, did you have the occasion to investigate several burglaries or break-ins that occurred at Forest Park Middle School?
Yes, ma'am.
And did that investigation involve this defendant, Mr. McClendon?
Yes, ma'am.
And what were the facts and circumstances that gave rise to this defendant's involvement in that incident?
Okay. The incident occurred on October 2nd at approximately 6:33 at 2299 Old Rex Morrow Road in Morrow, Clayton County, Georgia. The school is currently the Old Morrow High School and is being utilized by three other schools, two of which are a middle school, one is a high school: Utopia High School, Forest Park Middle High School, and Seven Pillars Academy, a middle school. At that point, I was the investigator on call. I received a third alarm call on that location, and I responded to the location. Upon responding, I did contact Clayton County PD and asked them to come to meet me at that location. And I also contacted our audio tech because prior on the Friday, twice on the Saturday, and as I stated, this was the third call out for this day, the school had been broken into. The audio technician was able to tell me that at that point, there were individuals in the building, one of which was Mr. McClendon, as he described what he was wearing and was watching him live as he walked down the hallway.
Okay.
When I arrived on scene, no one was there. The following Monday, I met with the video tech, Mr. Crowley, and we went through all the videos scene by scene with me taking photos of any suspects that were easily identifiable. Mr. McClendon and one of his co-defendant, Mr. Demetrius Edwards, were both walking down the hallway. At one point, both of them looked straight up at the camera. I took the photo on my iPhone and then sent it to the New Morrow location in Ellenwood to the SRO. At that location, Officer Williams asked him to show it to anybody, all the staff members, to see if anybody could identify them. The next day, I got a response from Officer Williams, who stated to me, gave me Mr. McClendon's name and several other individuals from photos that I had sent him from the cameras. I then went on October 5th to the New Morrow location, and I spoke with the principal, and I had Mr. McClendon and several other suspects be brought down to me. When Mr. McClendon came into the room, I read him Miranda rights, as is the policy of our department. I then looked at him and I stated, "Do you know why I'm here?" And he said, "No." I said, "It's about this weekend." I said, "Do you know why I'm here now?" And he said, "Yes." I handed him a statement form. I stated, "Tell me what happened this weekend." He then proceeded to write his statement. After he wrote his statement, I said, "Do you wish to talk to me about this at this time?" He stated, "Yes." The principal was also present at that time. As our policy is Clayton County School, they have to stay as we question any individuals, and his parents were contacted. Mr. McClendon stated that he was walking past the school, noticed the vandalized door, and went in to see what was going on. While in the building, several other individuals told him that there was an open snack machine. He stated he was hungry, so he went into the cafeteria area, him and Mr. Edwards, and took items from the vending machines that were vandalized, and then left the premises.
Okay. Now, the school on the weekends, is it locked or is it open to the public?
It is secured from the public.
Okay. And did Mr. McClendon have permission to enter the school building on this weekend?
No, ma'am.
No further questions at this time, Judge.
Okay, Attorney Rogers, your witness.
Investigator Henry, I guess first question, the conversation that you just discussed having with Mr. McClendon, is that recorded in some way?
No, sir.
And when you were having that conversation, I know you mentioned that the principal would be in attendance. Are you saying that the principal was there during that conversation?
Yes, ma'am. That's the policy of the school board.
And you mentioned calling his parents. Were they present during the conversation?
At some portions of the conversations, yes, sir.
When you say some portions, what do you mean?
They're contacted immediately. Well, as I got there and I informed the principal why I was there, she immediately contacted them. I can't say which point his parents came. His parents did come on scene. Some parents choose not to. But I had given him Miranda, got him writing a witness statement form, waited for him to finish writing that. So I can't remember exactly if his parents came before he finished writing his statement or not. If the parents had not arrived at that time, I usually ask them if they want to talk to me, and if they say yes, I will.
Okay.
He is 17 years of age. He doesn't need his parents' consent.
Okay, so just to clarify, are you saying you're not sure whether or not they were there before he finished writing the statement, or?
Correct. There was quite a few individuals that I interviewed that day. Some parents were already there because, they were waiting to talk to me by the time I had gotten, because if I'm not mistaken, there were 6 students that from the high school for this arrest. And so some are underage, some are 17 and above. So his parent may or may not have been there. If I'm not mistaken, I think his parents came in after he had finished writing the statement, because I think I had to wait for him to finish writing the statement.
And let me ask, you said that, as you understood it, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's a door that's already open in some way to the school?
That's what he stated, that it was already vandalized when he got there because he was coming through the cut. However, the door that was vandalized is facing another building, and I believe it would be difficult for him to see the vandalized door if he was coming from the cut across the football field. And all the students involved are all within walking distance in the area, and all were known to each other, because as I proceeded in my investigation and showed photos to him to identify other individuals involved in this incident, he knew them.
And when you say that, when we're talking about a cut, I'm assuming you mean as in like it's a path leading from one place to another, right?
Correct.
And so, and then let me ask, when you refer to the door as being vandalized, is that your word or is that Mr. McClendon's word that the door had been vandalized?
I believe he said he noticed the busted door, the busted window in the door.
And but the door itself is like, people aren't entering through the window. The door itself is open at this point?
No. Basically, the window had been busted out of the door. The top half of the door is glass. They busted out, and what they do is reach in and press the button, press the door on the inside, and it opens the door.
Okay. And that's
but
what I'm
if you go push the door open and walk in, it automatically closes behind you.
Okay. And is there any sort of video footage? I know there's been discussion of the footage inside of the school. Is there footage of the damage being done to the door and people entering through that door?
Not that door, no, sir. At least none that we found. We are still reviewing videos. I am still waiting for Mr. Crowley to hand me all the videos, because again, there's so many cases involved and I'm trying to split up the video for each case. So at this point, I have not seen any video of anyone coming in through that particular door. The other doors, yes.
And let me ask, just to be clear, so there is footage, there's coverage of that door, but you just don't know if there's actual footage of whatever happened. Is that
correct? We're still still investigating, still reviewing, still interviewing students. Apparently, once the building was vandalized on Friday, the children went back into the neighborhood. These are all individuals that are in the same area, same apartment complexes, and they basically told each other, and then they started coming. Groups of different kids started coming into our building and vandalizing the machine, stealing from the machine, breaking the windows. Once we boarded up one window, they would bust open another window to get in.
So in the warrant, I think the version I saw, all that's really alleged is that Mr. McClendon goes in and plays some basketball and gets something out of the vending machine. Is that pretty much the extent of what we're talking about today, though, as far as it relates to this incident?
Yes, this one case is those students that had gone in playing basketball and or came in. Because based on what I'm finding as I'm continuing to research, there was 3 groups of kids in there. They all knew each other, but some were playing basketball and came in via the roof, and some came in through the busted door, the vandalized door. Mr. McClendon and Mr. Edwards, those are the 2 I have on camera walking down the hallway into the cafeteria. They came in via the vandalized door.
And just so I'm clear, do you know how much, like when we're saying about taking stuff out of the vending machine, are we just talking about like Mr. McClendon got a drink to drink, or are we talking about people are like taking all of the contents? Like, what do we mean when we say took something out of the vending machine?
Well, at the beginning on Friday, all 4 vending machines were full. By Sunday night, they were empty.
Right, and I'm asking specifically about Mr. McClendon as far as you understand. Like, is him going to the vending machine, is that on video somewhere?
Yes, he's at the vending machine taking items out of the vending machine.
Okay, and that's what I'm asking about. Is it just?
I'm sorry?
That's what I'm asking about. Is it just items for consumption? Like, is somebody open, like grabbing a soda or grabbing a bag of chips and eating a bag of chips? What are we saying when we're saying taking from the vending machine?
I just saw him taking items from the vending machine. I can't say exactly how many items he took or what was taking, but I could see him and the young man taking items.
I think that if I got one more, Michelle, I think that's going to be it, but I just want to make sure. No further questions.
Okay, any redirect?
No, Judge.
I do have a few questions for the officer. Now, the damage to the door, was that in the interior of the building?
No, ma'am, it was an exterior door.
Was it exterior door?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
based on your investigation, do you know when it was damaged?
It was damaged at the 6:31 alarm, which is when Mr. Edwards and Mr. McClendon were inside the building. That was the 3rd call for that day. Each time that I went and we found damage to a broken door, I called in the maintenance and they put plexiglass over it.
Okay, so this was the incident occurred, according to your testimony, on October 2nd of 2022?
Correct.
Okay, and is your belief that that exterior door was damaged on October the 2nd?
It was damaged on October the 2nd.
Do you know if it was damaged prior to that time?
It was not damaged prior to that time, as I had responded to that location at 1:33 for another alarm. And prior to leaving, I checked the exterior of the building because they had busted out the kitchen door. And that door was repaired. And while the maintenance personnel was repairing that, I did a perimeter check. Everything else was secured.
Okay, do you know around about what time you got an alarm for that particular door, the exterior door that was damaged?
6:31.
Okay. And with respect to, you indicated in your testimony that there's video footage of the defendant approaching a vending machine.
Correct.
Is that correct, in the school? Is that behind the door that was damaged inside a room, or?
It is in the cafeteria. They had to, they triggered the alarm because they walked down the hall. Prior to that, they had been breaking the door directly to the cafeteria and walking in, and the kitchen door. Then when we plexiglass those shut, they went around to the other side of the building. So now they had to walk through the building. And as they did so, it triggered the cameras and the alarm system
So how
going
many,
into the cafeteria.
so how many point of entries would you say the defendant had to enter to get to the vending machine?
I'm not terribly familiar with that school. There's a couple of ways to walk around. As I stated, he was a student at that school when it was the old Morrow High School.
Mhm.
So that's why he's familiar more so than I am. But as I stated, he was caught on, if I'm not mistaken, walking down the hallway. There was 2 camera angles that, I mean, him and the defendant blatantly looked up at the cameras as they were walking past. It was a very good shot of both of them. There was 2 camera shots that got them. And then the next time I saw them that I found so far, they were at the vending machine, taking candy out. As
Okay.
I said, we're still reviewing the footage.
Okay. Did at any point when you reviewed the video footage, did you see the defendant attempt to place money into the vending machine for the items that he was taking out?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Okay, no further questions. Attorney Roger, you have any questions in response to my question for the witness?
Just one briefly, I just want to make sure. When you said that the alarm that you responded to, I think was about 6:31.
Mhm.
So the door that you were saying had been vandalized, did it already have plexiglass in it at that point?
No,
And so the entry into the school is not what triggered the alarm, it's the walking down the hall that triggered the alarm?
my understanding, no. That what triggered the alarm is the motion walking through the building. The motion detectors would then activate, then the cameras would activate.
Okay, so it's not the entry that triggers the alarm, it's the walking, the motion inside of the school.
In the kitchen door, if you open the kitchen door, it will set off the alarm, but not the those exterior doors. It's the motion walking through.
All right, I just wanted to clarify that. I appreciate it.
Okay, do we have any follow-up?
No, Judge, just argument.
Okay. Attorney Almond, we're ready for closing?
Yes, Judge, I'll waive opening.
Okay. And then Attorney Roger, I'm sorry, I didn't ask, did you have any witnesses?
No, ma'am.
Okay. We're ready for closings.
Yeah, one moment, Sean. I just want to kind of review my notes here. No, at this point, Sean, I'll submit on the testimony. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
submit.
Okay, with that said, we will bind over the charge of burglary with respect to Mr. McClendon to Superior Court. Mr. McClendon, that will conclude your preliminary hearing for today.